Okay, the Chinese term for Maitreya is Milo 4. Okay, for those Chinese. So the world, this world system, according to Siddhartha Gautama, will only end when Maitreya's Buddha's reign ends. And in this world system, it's often said we are in a very fortunate system because there were 5 Buddhas that appeared in this world system, and Siddhartha Gautama being the 4th, but he said the 5th will come by the name of Maitreya, which is, if you go to any Buddhist or Chinese temple, is this statue which a very fat Buddha with laughing one, they call it the laughing Buddha. That's Maitreya. He's not supposed to look like that. He's not supposed to look like that. But he is supposed to be indeed very perfect in this quality called loving kindness, which gives him the love towards all sentient beings and all beings. So the signs will be, it takes 2 cycles. That means when people's life are very short, then it grow back, then it come back to short, about 5 to 10 years, 2 cycles. Then that will be the dissolution of this world cycle, this kappa, the world kappa will end. And with this dissolution, there will be a creation of a new world kappa. Then that's another world system that will occur. So the signs are these 2. Number 1, lifespan very short. Number 2, people will regard the teaching as just a cloth. So there are no more significance of the teaching. To them, Buddhism is not about doing good, purifying the mind, or avoiding evil. It's all about a yellow piece of cloth. So these are the indicators in our scriptures.
Alright, so keeping time in concern, we'll close the question and answer session. And we'll move on to the final phase, the summary. So I would like Mr. Conway to summarize his point of view on 2012.
I think I've been doing this the whole night, so if you hear the same message again, please forgive me. But I also know that in public speaking, they say you only go to a public speaking, you public speak, you only do one thing. You tell them what you want to tell them. Second, you remind them what you want to tell them. And third, you repeat and conclude what you told them. Okay? So, in case you say, why this Mr. Cole here, like old tape, keep telling the same message. That's what they tell you in public speaking. So you must keep saying the same thing. That's why politicians always say the same talk. So the idea is this. I think 2012 as a commercial concept seems to be very attractive to a lot of people. And always, I think the end of the world, as our brother Abdullah shared with us, there are 19 pages. I know there's a lot of saying, but I didn't know about 19 pages. In fact, time and time again, in fact, they say the great, I was quite familiar with this guy by the name of Nostradamus. They say the great Nostradamus always predict things very accurately. But time and time again, Nostradamus has missed his mark for end of the world. So I come to a standstill that I think this idea, while it's important to keep in mind, that we should not do whatever we want to do so that we will destroy the world or contribute to the destruction of the world. But nevertheless, if we be too preoccupied by this idea, we fail to live our life. So maybe one story I should share. When I was young, when I was doing my STPM before going to university, I actually went to UPM, University Putra Malaysia. I had this big trouble in my Form 6 years because I was horribly bad at maths. Mathematics is one of the worst subjects. It's my nightmare. I always fail, never pass one. So maybe some of you are like me. So I always fail maths, and that became a big stumbling block in my life. And when I was doing my Form 6, I remember I have sleepless night. Tiap-tiap malam, I will dream. Every night I will dream or have nightmare about failing maths and not getting into university. Okay? And my parents indoctrinate me since young. He said, If you want to go to university, you must go to public university. If you cannot enter public university, too bad, no university. Okay, so that was another fear. So every night, I remember in my upper 6 years, 2-3 a.m. I cannot sleep. Okay, because I have this fear of what if I fail STPM and don't qualify for university. Okay, and soon come after the day, I didn't fail but just barely gone through. Maths, I got a D F is fail, E is slightly pass, but I got a D, slightly better But looking back, after all these years, I thought to myself, if I didn't have that fear, probably I will do much better in my exams. Because one of the things that if you don't sleep every night, what happened is I end up in the daytime I needed to sleep. So my concentration level in class was at a mighty low. And I remember every day after school, because I study in KL, after the major traffic jam, I go back, I must sleep. Okay, so I sleep afternoon, at night don't sleep, awake and worry about things. I remember writing journals of how terrified I am of STPM, and I still have some of these journals, and I look at it and I laugh. Okay. But when I went to university, it was much different. It was very different. In fact, this is the classic story I like to tell young people, and please don't misunderstand me. In the 6 semesters that I was in university, the semester that I played the most, tiap hari main, is the one with the highest CGPA. Okay? And why is that so? Is because when I really study, I study. When I play, I really play. So was like the Pasar Malam story I told you. When I went to Pasar Malam, was pure Pasar Malam. When I was in lecture, was pure lecture. When I need to study, was pure study. And by being very focused, what you need to do now, the present moment, you can give your full energy, full attention to it, and always the result is always positive. So I believe that by being focused in the present and not worrying about the future or even worrying about the past, that doesn't help us anyway. You can actually achieve a lot in your life. So in that sense, my uni years was really high flying. About this only, get 4 flat, about this only, sikit-sikit. So that was a great lesson, and I always tell people that, in your uni years, live your life maximum. When I say maximum, I don't mean do anything you want in that sense, but in the context of our culture and values. So I think December 21st, 2012, nice concept. Big hoo-ha, big movie, big money, but nevertheless, I really doubt it will happen in that sense. So all the indicators show that end of the world is much further than that. But having said that, even whether it happens or don't happen, don't worry about that. Worry about what you need to do today and now. So if you really need to study at this moment, please study. Don't think about Pasar Malam. If you at the Pasar Malam, please enjoy your Pasar Malam. Don't think about your assignment. So with that, I would like to thank you for all your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Now I would like Mr. Hamlin to conclude this.
So firstly, thank you. Basically, like we have discussed, the biggest worry about discussing 2012 would be all the bad things that's going to happen. But anyways, like I've mentioned in my slides, if we look back at the past couple of years, there seems to be bad things happening every other year. But then again, this is the nature of the age. If you look back, if you look at the times of autumn, the leaves start to turn brown, they start to wilt, right? And then there's heavy winds. It looks scary, but that's just the nature of the age. So more importantly, that has to happen. That's like a machine. Okay? In Vedic scriptures, they say material nature is like a machine, jantra. In Sanskrit, they say it's like a machine, which actually it moves accordingly. But how we, the independent living entities, how do we react with it? So if the question is 2012, anything bad going to happen? Maybe, but is it the end of the world? No, that is definitely not the. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hamlin. Now I would like Mr. Abdullah to introduce.
Bismillah. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Do you need to fear about the end of time? Yes, because it's real, it's serious matter, it's for eternity after that. This life is a test. But is it going to be 2012? God knows, I don't know. But what is important is to remember death. Prophet said, remembrance of death. The heart is like a rusty iron. When you remember death, that is how you polish it. So remember, because eventually it will be everlasting life in the hereafter. What do you need to do? You need to worry and fear. You need to prepare. And if you are already there, you already have the faith, you are already doing good deeds. وَبَذَلِكَ قَدْ يَفْرَحُ بِالْإِيمَانِ. The Quran says. And because you have already iman, you should be happy. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Those who have faith, the correct faith, they should be happy. Because if they die now, they are in good shape. Prepare for the end of time. Maybe it's not 2012, but your end of time is the day you die. Thank you for giving your attention. Thank you, and thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah. I would like Mr. Living to talk.
Okay. Well, at the bottom of it, we ask the Christian will say, why does God give us all these detailed prophecies about the end times? Without the need to tell us the time, it's actually to help us to prepare for it, so that when it comes, when it hits, you know, when all these pressures are come upon you to act in certain ways, like giving to the one-world economic system and all that, you resist it. You know what to do with it, and you know that it won't last, but that period of tribulation will pass, and then there's something else waiting beyond it. So that's actually what's the whole purpose of the revelation of God. To help us to, if you want to find answers, there it is, so, well, find out, and then be prepared in the way that God tells you to prepare by reading His holy word. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Living. So does that answer all the burning questions that we had regarding 2012? Well, nothing much to say with it, and like all of them I mentioned earlier, that do not get misleaded by all those other dates that are gonna come out. There has been 2012. There's gonna be more dates, so don't mislead yourself. And like they have also mentioned, that live every day. You don't have to worry about 2012 or 2013 because you don't know what's gonna happen the next hour. So live your life to the fullest in the present.